Good morning,
Arizona.
Let's hear it in the comments, folks.
What's the matter?
Oh, yes. If you can handle that.
Diabetes. Coming to you live from Arcane Sublevel 7, it's Talk is Cheap. Now here's your host, Dan Hohlfeld.
The ripping and the tearing.
Welcome to Talk is Cheap, where cheap is talk, and talk is cheap, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Dan Hohlfeld. Thank you so much for joining me today on this July 9th, 2019 edition, folks. We're here live every Tuesday, 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. Wow. What a week. This last week, we had some crazy stuff happen. We had the earthquakes, of course, in California going on not once, but twice, folks. 6.4 on the 4th of July, and then a 7.1 on Friday the 5th. How is this connected to all of this? We're going to break some of that down, of course, get into the Jeffery Epstein arrest. This is big news. This is connected to everything. Now, this is how the whole QAnon thing, all that is going to bridge the Clintons in there, all these high-level politicians, and the House of Cards will come down. It's going to be very exciting to watch that unfold. Actually, the moment we have been waiting for. So we're going to get into that, of course. And if we do have time, it was going to be the main thing I was going to talk about this episode, but now it's gotten pushed to the end of the show. So if we get time, we're going to talk about the Unidentified. Last episode aired, the Tom DeLonge UFO, of course, evil alien initiative by the government for disclosure. So before we get into that, I do want to talk about the solar cycles, folks. We hear about this event supposed to happen during solar minimum, going into the maximum. It looks like we're starting on the sun starting to wake up here, because according to this guy here from spaceweather.com, a reverse polarity sunspot has broken through the surface of the sun the second time this month, and this has happened. This latest backwards sunspot could mark the official beginning of new solar cycle 25. So that's going to be interesting if, of course, the sun's awakening again. And will it cause a big shift in human consciousness? Maybe the flare will go off. Maybe it won't even happen anymore. But Corey Good said that was supposed to be part of the event that was going to happen. And it's starting to get to the point where I don't even want to talk about that anymore, because, nothing happens. And it's like, well, what the hell? We're kind of overdue for it, to be honest, I think. That's just my opinion. Welcome everybody in the chat. Good to see you all here. Again, a big week this last week. It's insane. Now I want to start off with a little fun fact, maybe. This was sent to me by Angela Gabrielle. Rumors that on the 4th of July, the big thing Trump threw, that he was actually going to present JFK Jr. at this. Now, of course, this is just all speculation, basically, but this is on the website Operation Disclosure, a blog. So, of course, it's not really that official, folks. But I'm going to go ahead and read this little bit here. John F. Kennedy Jr. was pulled from the 4th of July celebration 40 minutes before he was due to share the podium with Trump. According to a reliable Earth Alliance source, they withdrew JFK Jr. at the last minute due to operational reasons. Trump was furious, and loud words were exchanged between him and Earth Alliance brass. However, Trump admitted that it was for the best, given a possible threat from the cabal sleeper group after the Earth Alliance found a member of HAARP interferometers nearby. It's likely the cabal were up to their usual tricks after a number of severe storms in the area. The Earth Alliance simply did not want to take the chance. Also, it was agreed later between Trump and Earth Alliance brass that an appearance should only be made when the RV has come to fruition. That's the revaluation of the currency. JFK Jr. was flown back by the Earth Alliance to a secret underground base near Blaney in Ireland. This base has a number of living quarters as well as a state-of-the-art control system where he can communicate, Q being the key word there, with all the players who are fighting the deep state. The Earth Alliance are well aware of the disappointment that this has caused among those who have been red-pilled, but the situation was unavoidable. Either way, the RV is close, no matter how many temper tantrums the fleeing cabal may throw. More info as it arrives. Again, folks, how reliable is this source? We don't know. I thought it was interesting to share because I think Trump originally wanted to do all this. You almost could see that the cards were being set up back in what was 11/11 that he was going to have this parade, and then it got postponed, and then they started staying the 4th of July, because you think there was going to be something big. He was almost like making it that way. But then, of course, stuff gets pushed back like it always does. So we'll see if this comes to fruition. There's definitely a lot of stuff in the QAnon pointing to JFK. We presented that on this show with Michelle Wolf, and it was kind of undeniable, to be honest. So there's a lot there. We'll have to see if it comes to fruition. Again, the RV revaluation, I think we can start to see that unfold because now Trump's attacking the Federal Reserve, which is really important. We got to get rid of that, get rid of the IRS, and rebuild, if we will. So we'll just have to see what happens. All right, ladies and gentlemen. With that being said, let's get some changeover music.
The ripping and the tearing.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Big news, Jeffrey Epstein arrested on Saturday. And we got the indictments that are on sealing, folks. Of course, being charged with sex trafficking. And he could face up to 45 years in prison. Now, he did get off on this charge back in 2008, but that was only bound by Southern Florida. And he only had to spend a year in jail, but he got a work release, ladies and gentlemen, so he could still go to work, still make money while he was in jail. Pretty damn convenient. So basically, he got free room and board while he makes money. Oh, don't we like that?
All fake.
It's ridiculous how our justice system works, but that's how it goes. Again, this is tying in now. The media is playing this. They want to tie it in with Trump, showing how he spent, basically saying that Jeffrey Epstein was a great guy. They're trying to let poo-poo it like Clinton had nothing to do with it. But there's a lot here, folks. We're going to look at some QAnon posts. We're going to watch a couple of news items as well. And we can see how in order for this to happen, we really had to have the FBI cleaned out. And that's what we saw the last couple years. Things were slow. I'll admit it. I was getting frustrated. Are we ever going to see arrests? Is anything ever going to happen? And now we can start to see it go that way. So it's very exciting times we live in right now. And of course, they're tying in Trump also with Alexander Acosta, who is the Labor of Secretary. And he basically was the attorney for the Epstein case at that point in time. So let's go ahead and play this news clip and just listen into it here.
Prosecutors are labeling billionaire Jeffrey Epstein a danger to the community who poses an extreme flight risk, telling a judge the convicted sex offender is not reformed, he's not chastened, he's not repentant, in an effort to keep him behind bars until his trial.
The alleged behavior shocks the conscience.
The 66-year-old pleading not guilty Monday to charges of sex trafficking and conspiracy to traffic minors for the purpose of sex. Epstein is accused of paying girls as young as 14 for sex at his New York City and Palm Beach, Florida homes between 2002 and 2005.
Epstein also paid certain victims to recruit additional girls to be similarly abused.
Photos show FBI agents breaking Epstein's front door in New York shortly after his arrest Saturday. Court documents revealing they found a vast trove of lewd photographs of young-looking women or girls inside. Epstein, a hedge fund manager, was known to mingle with power players in business and politics, including President Trump and former President Clinton, whose team said overnight, President Clinton knows nothing about the terrible crimes Jeffrey Epstein pleaded guilty to in Florida some years ago, or those with which he has been recently charged in New York. Sure. President Trump saying this after Epstein's arrest when asked for comment.
No, I don't know anything about it.
Epstein's day in court is one his alleged victims have waited more than a decade for.
They have been attacked. Their credibility has been maligned. And this is very, very welcome and gratifying vindication for them.
His accusers say they were never consulted in 2008 before Florida prosecutors and Epstein made a secret deal, approved by then U.S. Attorney Alexander Acosta. The agreement, thrust into the spotlight by a Miami Herald expose last year, allowed Epstein to plead guilty to state charges of soliciting and procuring a minor for prostitution, serve 13 months behind bars, and register as a sex offender in order to avoid more serious federal charges.
This is huge stuff, folks. We're seeing the rebirth of the Republic. And it's all going to come out through this pedophilia stuff. This is key. It all connects in, and it's all going to be drained. And this is why it was important, because they said nothing's going to stop the truth, because this is the mainstream media has to cover it. And they're basically trying to like, oh, Clinton's he didn't know what was going on, folks. He didn't know what was going on. Well, there's pictures of him on the Lolita Express. We might as well go ahead and show that right now. This was on the Q map. Q firing off again after a little bit of rest, but here he is on the Lolita Express, Epstein's plane, with an underage woman there. And he didn't know anything about it, of course. Crazy stuff, folks. We're starting to see the rebirth now. And now this is where it ties back into Jeff Sessions. So Sessions began the Epstein investigation when it was revealed that those who doubted may see the light. And now it's going at 10 times speed. So we all thought, well, what the hell's going on with Sessions, folks? Because it sure looked like he wasn't doing much, but he basically setting the groundwork, helping getting the Justice Department cleared out, and making way for, this is 5D chess. It just got to be so much for me, it was hard for me to follow. QAnon also saying, Flynn news coming. Get ready for that. This was important here, so we got in Anon, said a former FBI official said, indictment of Jeffrey Epstein is placeholder. Expect dozen more charges in near future. And the stream went down again for the second time in this show. That's very interesting, folks. Second time. I've only had it happen once per show. This is the second time now. I think there's censorship going on. This is ridiculous. Back to this QAnon stuff. I'm sure we'll get flagged on YouTube, whatever. It's all coming down. So back to this. Okay, indictment of Jeffrey Epstein is placeholder. Expect a dozen more charges in near future. Now QAnon says placeholder. Population start August 2019, next month, folks. So this, because it does take a little bit of time, but that's actually pretty quick when you think about it. So yeah. Because this all connects. And how does it all connect? It connects with the Lolita Express. You can see Bill Clinton signed in and all these other top level people. And this is what Epstein does, folks. He got in there, made friends with these politicians, bring them to the island. He had cameras all over his island. We'll look at some pictures of his island here too. Cameras all over his island so he can blackmail these politicians. If they were engaging in something with minors, he's got it on camera. He can blackmail them. That's why they let him off before. So this is very, very exciting to see happen. Okay, so with that, I want to play one more clip. They're trying to blame Trump again with the Epstein stuff.
Over the years, Epstein's established relationships included President Trump and former President Bill Clinton, who rode Epstein's private jet in the early 2000s. His spokesman said the trips were related to work with the Clinton Foundation, adding, President Clinton knows nothing about the terrible crimes Jeffrey Epstein pleaded guilty to in Florida some years ago, or those with which he has been recently charged in New York. He's not spoken to Epstein in well over a decade.
Sure.
Attorney David Boyce
He knows
represents
nothing,
3
folks.
of Epstein's alleged victims.
They hope that Mr. Epstein and the people who worked with him and enabled him are finally brought to justice. And this looks like an important first step in having that happen.
Now, the White House has not responded to requests for comment.
So yeah, I see in the chat people talking about the buffering again. Be sure to subscribe to the audio podcast because I do have a backup audio recorder here, so everything is there. It's not being cut out. Obviously, the repost of the stream will have to be cut out because there's no video of it. But actually, I put in that screen, so it's still there as well. But if we go down on YouTube, like I said, go over to k2d4network.com and subscribe to those backup channels, or at least have them bookmarked. Because I can't hold back anymore. I'm tired of the censorship, playing ball. Something big like this has happened. I can't sit here and, let's ignore it. And no, this is what we've been waiting for. Okay, so Epstein's Island, we got some photographs. This was taken by a drone. This is on the Twitter channel, Obvious Statement Man, at man_obvious. So this was taken by a drone. I don't know if it was necessarily by him or if he wants to admit it was by him, because I'm sure this is probably not the most legal thing. But flying over his island here, the dome, we'll get to that in a minute, looks like it blew off, but I just wanted to show this big complex. They call it Orgy Island, that Jeffrey Epstein owned, would bring all these politicians to. Of course, even with underground bunkers in this, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, they're definitely hitting this. Folks, they're definitely hitting us tonight, today, wherever. That's the 3rd time now. Holy cow. That has never happened like that before. This is ridiculous. I'm sure I'll get my live streaming capabilities taken away after this episode. I'm just saying a bunch of keywords. But looking at this, underground base at Epstein's place. You can see the doors there. This whole complex is crazy. It's got a stage there. Now here's the temple thing that he made. The dome is off. Now I'm kind of wondering if that hasn't maybe blown off from a hurricane maybe. Look at these palm trees. They were definitely whipped at one point here. If it was that windy, that drone wouldn't be able to fly very well. So I don't think it's windy when he took these pictures, obviously. So it looks like something devastating came through there. But wow. So there's rumors of this being dismantled, and then they're filling in the underground as well. But I don't see that directly of them filling in this underground. I just thought it was interesting to show these pictures. Now this picture here was, so this is supposed to be a tennis court, but when you look at it, I don't know how that can be, because unless they dismantled it. Because to me, that looks almost like a grass or even gravel. It doesn't look like a tennis court. And if you're that rich, wouldn't you have lines and stuff? So I don't know. That's kind of weird. But yeah, that is that. I just wanted to show those quick. And we're going to tie this all in. There's a lot of stuff going on here. Of course, David Wilcock did a breakdown on this. He left his blog, divinecosmos.com. It begins, Epstein indicted, Black Ops mega base destroyed. Now he goes in this article basically explaining that what was the base called? The China Lake facility was the main target point of this earthquake. And he's saying that was done by the alliance. Now, do I believe that? I don't know. There can be weather weapons. He's basically saying both sides have weather weapons now. Again, the China Lake facility is the Naval Air Weapons Station, NAWS, is a large military installation whose mission is to support the research, testing, and evaluation programs of the U.S. Navy. China Lake is the United States' largest single land holding, representing 85% of the Navy's land for weapons and armaments research, development, acquisitions, testing, and evaluation. There's also rumored that this is where they're doing the chemtrail program. Now, can that blowing up that one facility in an earthquake stop the chemtrail program? No, because these planes are everywhere. They obviously are not flying them out of there to go all the way to the East Coast. That would be nuts. Maybe they're developing the actual biological spray they're using, the aerosol there. So Wilcock basically explains in this article that the alliance used weather weapons to make this earthquake happen, to destroy this base, and they have a huge underground facility there. Again, do I believe that? I don't think the alliance would put people's lives in danger to destroy a base. That's kind of my personal opinion. We kind of always knew that these earthquakes were going to happen. We're still actually waiting for that big one, the San Andreas fault line to take place. So now, also in this article, he talks about a former employee who worked there for 9 years, beginning in 1973 to 1982, basically an electrician for it. And we have the father of weather weapons, or not, excuse me, he's not the father. The father of weather weapons was Ben Livingston. This guy here, he worked under the Earth and Planetary Sciences Department, and that was Dr. Pierre Saint-Amand. And his name was frequently mentioned in regards to the development of military weather modification efforts. Yeah, we got knocked off again, ladies and gentlemen. They're definitely attacking this. This is crazy. I have never been dropped that much. I could say, once, twice, maybe, but now for what is it, the fourth time now during this broadcast? That does not happen that much ever. So it's beyond a technical issue. They're seeing that I had that in there. Keywords are coming up, and then they're hitting this channel. I'm so sick of YouTube. They got to go down someday. It's ridiculous. People got to wake up and find the other platforms. It's so hard because everybody's so inundated to go to YouTube. It's just muscle memory. So back to this article for Wilcock. The weather weapons being developed here. So in both, this electrician that worked there, he said both in 82 and 84, there was some extreme bad flooding that occurred at the China Lake facility that did some major damage to the facility there. So basically they were testing these weapons. They got out of control and they flooded themselves out. And he talked about also that it was strange to see lightning occur all the time over there for California weather, They're obviously going on doing some of this stuff there. And cloud seeding is not beyond public domain. I've showed that video before on the show where the Dubai, they actually seed their clouds to make it rain. It's admitted. They did news reports, yet the average person doesn't know about it. So with that, this connects into... he also mentions here, I want to touch upon this, that they used the earthquake just one day before the Jeffrey Epstein arrest occurred. There's just so much going on here. It's crazy. And then he says they retaliated with the floods that have occurred in D.C. And I was like, well, what the hell? Because I didn't really hear much about it. And then I looked up. Was it the 8th yesterday, I believe. Yeah, because today's the 9th. Yesterday morning. They had all these floods. The White House flooded. Where's that picture? This is the basement of the White House flooding. Now, David Wilcock was speculating that maybe we had the cabal strike back with their weather weapons at DC. It started flooding everything out. And there's also another speculation that maybe this is actually the Alliance doing this. Because if they can flood that places out, people have to evacuate. Guess what? You can go in and take documents you need or whatever else. Especially when the hammer's dropping now. This is crazy stuff. It's crazy times we're living in. I want to play this clip now about they did the press briefing, of course. Let me pause that. For the public to know about the Epstein thing. At the end, ladies and gentlemen, one of the reporters says the QAnon people are going to go crazy. This is good. I had to cut this part out. Thanks to Jason for showing me this, because the original news article, when I watched that, actually the ending got cut off. I didn't even see this part, but he sent me the link, and it's very interesting to hear.
Man, all the QAnon people are going to be freaking out over this.
All the QAnon people are going to be freaking out. You think? This is what we've been waiting for. This is a great time, folks. Great time in history to see all this unfold finally. Oh man, let's see if they quit hitting this channel. It's crazy with all the drops I've been getting. All right, so with that, we're going to go out to break. We come back, we'll get into the TTSA, to the Stars Academy, unidentified stuff, and we got Trump talking about UFOs again to Tucker Carlson. Let's read into that a little bit. Stay tuned on Talk is Cheap.
You're listening to Talk is Cheap with Dan Hohlfeld on the K2D4 network.
Have a comment, question, or topic suggestion? Call our voicemail at 1-256-510-5234. That's 1-256-510-K2D4.
Ladies and gentlemen, we talk about seeing UFOs. We want to go see a UFO. This is Talk is Cheap. We're going to put our money where our mouth is. I got Shane Robinson from Unbiased on the Fence. Shane, where are we going?
We are going to ECETI, man. I am so excited. August near Trout Lake in Washington. People coming from all over to hang out and check out the UFOs.
And go sign up at eceti.org. You have to get your tickets over there. There's even accommodations left if you haven't gotten them already.
On sale now at the K2D4 Network store. We have a wide range of shirts to get the message out to the public. The Disclosure Now with Fisty, break through the wall of suppression. End the cover-up with UFO tea. Let the public know that there is more going on than we know. And it is time to bring out the suppressed technologies and advance civilization once and for all. The signature, Talk is Cheap, it's time for disclosure. The Disclosure/Now tea. Very simple but very effective message. It is time to change the world, and let's begin right now. And last but not least, the official K2D4 Network shirt. Support the broadcast and get yours at k2d4network.com.
Enjoying the show? Consider supporting us by donating to our Patreon. Patreon.com/K2D4Network.
Live from the K2D4Network.com studios, it's Dan Hohlfeld.
Back to the show, ladies and gentlemen, for this July 9th, 2019 edition. Talk is Cheap. Wow. They kicked us off again during the commercial break. This is insane. You guys, I'm going to open up the phone lines. You guys might as well call in because I'm probably not going to have a show after
You are joining the online
today.
studio. You are unmuted and can speak with the host.
So that number, if you want to call in, ladies and gentlemen, let's just give her hell today. Why not? It's 1-605-562-0444, 1-605-562-0444. 0444. Caller ID 146509#. If you want to call in about the Epstein stuff, are you excited about what's going to happen? Do you think it's all going to go away and Epstein's going to get off the hook like he did last time? I don't think so, but it'd be interesting to hear your perspective. If you want to call in about the UFO disclosure stuff, which I'm going to get into next here, by all means, this is your show. Please call in. It might be the last one. Who knows? Okay. So I will keep an eye on the lines. We're going to move right on into the unidentified. So, ladies and gentlemen, To the Stars Academy, the official government carrying mechanism of UFO disclosure, their last episode aired, Unidentified. This episode was very, very scary. At one point in it, they were talking to the Italians. They basically shot down or tried to shoot down a UFO because according to them, it shot at their helicopter. I would like to know the context of that story because we don't know what the helicopter was doing. They obviously didn't get into it. I tried to research a little bit and find out more about it, but there wasn't much there I could find. That happened in 2004 in Sicily. They said this UFO shot an electromagnetic beam at this helicopter, and it's not like it disabled it and it crashed. They were still able to land, so that's why I want to know the context of what happened, where they're trying to do something bad, and then the aliens disabled them, and then they were still able to land safely. We don't know. The fact that To the Stars Academy was pushing this thing the way they were is very scary. So, breaking down the whole To the Stars Academy thing as a whole, every time I watch an episode, they got the intro there with Luis Elizondo. He gave it all up to work from the outside and bring this out to the public. He's such a hero. But he joined an elite group. And then when it says he joined an elite group, it shows Tom DeLonge. When I see that, it shows Tom DeLonge. Every time I see that intro, I just laugh under my breath because it's just like, Tom DeLonge, elite, okay, give me a break. But he gets all the fame and glory. They're just using him, of course, and we know that, to bring out the message to the younger people, normal people who wouldn't even understand this. And we dropped again. So it's very interesting in this episode because they even talk about the aliens. They tied it in. They had this Professor Matthew Kleban, you say his last name, director of Center for Cosmology and Particle Physics, who basically talked about, it's kind of obvious that we're probably not alone. Tying that in, and he talked back with Steve Justice, the worker at Skunkworks, how it could be alien. No, we don't want to go there, but the fact that they keep bringing it up in the show shows you that they're trying to acclimate the public for this disclosure. So back to the Italian part now. UFO Scoop did a nice breakdown of this episode. Shout out to them, ufoscoop.com. He put some quotes about a lot of the fear stuff. So he wrote here, the focus of Unidentified is on fear. Maybe rightly so. I mean, fear motivates us. It's very, and a lot of our audience has brought that up as well. Get people into that fear state so they actually feel like they have to do something. And that's what happens on TV. The human way of watching TV shows is to get emotionally involved, of course. And there's all kinds of quotes here about the fear. We can't do anything. We're hopeless. Now, this was the quote here in the movie, in the show. In 2004, in Sicily, a craft appeared a few hundred meters behind the copter tail, and it shot a ray that destroyed the helicopter wings. And that was by the Italian commander. I'm not even going to try to say his name because I'll butcher it. And he also says, we discovered we could see them in a certain band of frequencies. Then we discovered that when they use their energy weapons, they must go outside the stealth mode. Only in that moment can we hit them with depleted uranium weapons. Okay, you got alien civilization coming here, You're shooting depleted uranium weapons at them. Okay. Is a war not going to break? I'm surprised the war hasn't broken out yet. That's ridiculous. So to say that it's a threat, and we've been shooting at them, admitted here by this Italian guy from the I believe he was the Italian Navy, if I'm not mistaken. Holy cow, folks. You want to start a war with entities from another planet that got superior technological advantage to us? We're pretty damn stupid. Just when I seen that part in that show, I was like, holy cow, we're so dumb. I'm like ashamed to be a human when I see this stuff. Oh, we don't know what that is. Let's just shoot the hell out of it. And this is why they don't expect us to lead the planet, because people like this who are so war fighting, they don't understand it. Like, it's all about consciousness. And once you have so much technology, why keep fighting with each other? It's like, it becomes pointless at that point. Well, let's just keep killing each other. And then Luis Elizondo in there says, I hate to say this, but the Italians, may have even more information than we do in the U.S. Potentially. So they asked Luis, because they were doing a sit down face to face. I wish I could play clips, but I can't because of copyrights, folks. They were sitting down face to face. And then the Italians were telling him all this stuff. And he's like, you got to give us something. You got to give us something. And Luis was like, I'm bound by a security clearance. I can't say anything. The Italians got the short end of the stick on this exchange from what I've seen. Unless they told him something off the camera. Of course, this is all for show. But I would be disappointed in their spot. And then also, Luis, during that meeting, he said, in ATEP that ended in 2012, we had two objectives. What is it? And how does it work? We don't know what they are, but we have a much better understanding of how they work. It's kind of weird when he said that to me, because you don't know what it is, but you kind of know how it works. Again, kind of this push and pull narrative that they've been doing throughout this whole TTSA disclosure. And then they actually sat down with former U.S. Senator Harry Reid. This was Mellon sitting down with him. And he talks about us basically, we don't really know anything about it. He says, since I got interested in this, when KGB Putin was head of the KGB, and I guarantee you that he's got a lot of information on this. And I would bet that Russia is ahead of us in looking at this scientifically. Okay. Oh. And then he also says, I think the government doesn't know the answers. He's talking about the U.S. government. But over the decades, rather than try to find out the answers, they tried to cover it up, what the answers might be. Are you kidding me, folks? This is a whole, and this is what shows me that this is more of the dark cabal. Again, off the stream, by the way, for those listening. This is part of the dark cabal disclosure, because they want to sit there and say, oh, we don't know. Well, should we bring up the next thing here? We're basically on the anniversary of Roswell. This happened in July 8th of 1947. There's the paper, the Roswell Daily Record. RAAF captures flying saucer on ranch in Roswell region. And now, how do you go from flying saucer to balloon? Now they're saying that this was a secret testing balloon where they could spy on Russia to see if they were doing things. They called it Project Mogul, to detect Soviet nuclear tests. So they're saying in this article, they were so scared of showing our secret programs we're building here to spy on the Russians, that they basically made up this whole UFO thing to make a disinformation. Are you kidding? That's the biggest joke I've ever heard, but of course they're going to say that. So when they say, this guy's got the UFO secrecy back in when was that? The 80s? No, I don't know when that photograph was taken. Oh, I guess it says it was. Oh no, that was part of that. Anyway, we don't know what it is, folks, but a flying disc was discovered, and then we're gonna poo-poo that story. Sure. I'm gonna roll some B-roll here for you folks from the Unidentified. Now, Chris Mellon also says, who was the former Assistant Secretary of Defense for Intelligence. This is unresolved. He had so much access to a lot of stuff. It's unresolved. There was the Italian Special Forces. Yeah, Italian Navy. Crazy stuff. It's all fake. This whole unidentified thing, when it was being broadcast, you can tell it's like so on. It's a lot of acting. They had to get the parts right, the expressions. At the end, oh, there's a lot of stuff here at the end I want to get into. And again, it's just used to open up the conversation about UFOs. The big thing here, they were talking about the 38 topics of the ATEP program, that they were like invisibly cloaking transversible wormholes. And that's thanks to John McCain, and they brought John McCain up there. I was like, okay, now this is definitely some cabal disclosure here. So yeah, he thinks with all, and Luis Elizondo says, we're going to build an airtight case of this. I think the time has finally come, he says, in quotes. We're beyond the time has come. And this whole episode too, towards the end, they showed Reagan there talking about the alien threat. Crazy speech. Tim says he tried to call. Call that number, Tim. You got to put the caller ID in to come through. Here at this end part too, I'm going to pause it right here. This is the part I want to talk about, because they were talking about, oh, look at this headline for so UFO pilots can actually talk about their UFO sightings. And then you can tell Tom DeLonge here with such a fake facial expression. It's all set up. I was just like, oh my God. This is the guy that can break China, folks. And you can tell it was so rehearsed, or that, all right, you're going to be over here, I'm going to do that. And I understand it's a TV show, you got to. They're hitting us big time. Now here at the end, I want to touch upon this too. This picture right here was when Luis Elizondo was asked, you think the public can handle the truth? He basically says nothing, looks down, and then just stands up. You can tell it's fake by his body language, the way it went down. Oh, yeah, I don't think the public can handle that. There's an alien threat. So yeah, Tim, the caller ID says invalid. I tried 5 times. Let me try to. I hate troubleshooting this on air.
Your line has.
But I'll do it quick for the show because it's important, because it might be our last one. Unlisted call 146509. New episode schedule. Because I really want to hear your thoughts on this. This is so important. Next. Sorry for those folks that are getting real bummed out. I can't do 2 things at once. Schedule and attend, join.
You are joining the online studio. You are unmuted and can speak with the host.
Try that again. That should be the right number. So 1605-562-0444. 1605-562. Why can't I'm stuttering right there. 56. 0444. You can see it on screen, folks, or it's in the description below. 146509 pound. And then maybe you're not doing this part right, Tim. You got to do 1 in pound after that when it says if you're not a host, and you should come up. So we'll wait for the call to come in. And wrapping up about this whole thing, how did I feel at the end of this whole series? Throughout the show, many parts of it, I felt frustrated, pissed. The expressions were fake. I had myself asking where are the metamaterials. We showed those clips of Luis Elizondo on their YouTube page flying all over to collect these materials. It looked like it was filmed in high quality to be on the show. It ended up not being in there. So is this going to be at a later point? I don't know. That would have been the important part. So what did we accomplish? The only thing I think we accomplished on the show, and they did it while it was in the show, was they actually had congressional hearings with the pilots so we can start getting Congress and the Senate to take it seriously. But what is that going to lead to? It's going to lead to pushing the Space Force, of course, which might not be a bad thing. But it's going to be that threat initiative, which scares the hell out of me. So I'm going to play Trump on UFOs. This was on Tucker Carlson, and hopefully Tim will be called in by then. So I'm going to play this clip. Do we got to reload it now? Good old technology, folks. We've been hit left and right today. And now this happens as well.
Welcome back to our special Trump in Asia edition of Tucker Carlson Tonight. We're standing right now on the North Korean border. Our interview with the president didn't simply focus on foreign policy or the decay of American cities, though you could fill hours of programming on those topics. The federal government is being increasingly open about its decades-long investigation of UFOs. They have spent millions of dollars, and officials admit now they've seen many things they don't understand. We decided to ask the president about it. Here was his semi-cryptic answer. Watch.
You gave an interview the other day in which you said you've been briefed on unidentified flying objects. Are they real?
Well, I don't want to really get into it too much, but personally, I tend to doubt it. I mean, you have people that swear by it, right? And pilots have come in and they said, and these are pilots that are not pilots that are into that particular world, but we have had people saying that they've seen things. I'm not a believer, but, you know, I guess anything's possible.
We spoke to a government official recently who said the U.S. government had wreckage from a UFO in a facility on an Air Force base. Are you familiar with that?
I haven't heard that, no. I haven't heard that. It has not been within government, has not been a big thing, but I've seen it. I've seen it on your show, but I've seen it. I don't assume it's correct, but, you know, I have an open mind, Tucker.
No, you do, Mr. President. Thank you for that.
Nowadays, you can believe anything, right?
So, yeah, pretty cryptic there, folks, ladies and gentlemen. That's, I think he knows a lot more than he's letting on. But it's awesome to see that by a sitting president actually trying to take the whole thing serious. Okay, Tim, I just tried it myself. It does work. What you're doing is you're not, the last pin, you're not putting in 1 and then pound. So after the 146509 pound, after you do that one, you got to do 1 pound because you're not a show ID member, and you'll come through because I just tried it. It works. I'd love to hear from you. We got a few more minutes because, like I said, we've been attacked left and right on today's show. And I want to hear some other perspective. It's very important. Yeah. So I'm thinking about this whole UFO disclosure thing. How does this all work? You talk about acclimating the public. I always talked about Stargate SG-1 on the show. I'm still in the last season about finishing that up. There's a lot of disclosures in there. The grays and all that stuff. You know, the names might be different, but there's a lot there. An interesting thing in that show is they actually have movie producers and the whole Hollywood thing making a show about Stargate within that show, and it's basically kind of a sleight of hand saying, okay, this is exactly what's going on, folks. Stargate is based on real life, and it's just being pushed to kind of give you that acclamation to it. All right, we got a call. I'm assuming this is Tim from Savannah, Georgia.
What's going on, man?
Hey.
Hey. So I thought I was so smart, and it was just the 1 pound.
What do you mean 1 pound?
I just had to hit one. I just had to listen. I just kept doing it over and over, and I'm hitting the pin and whatever. It was
It is kind of a loopy way to get on, but I like this system because I can actually get them get everybody lined up.
It's a great system. I just had a little malfunction, but there's so much going on this week with the Epstein stuff. I don't even know where to start.
It's crazy.
Like, it's beyond crazy, man. I mean, the guy got away.
Yeah, in 2008, yeah.
And I think pretty much he's either going to get killed this week. He's going to be taken out because he knows too much. You know what I mean? He's got too much fucking info. Sorry about the language.
My thing is, I don't even think that will really do much because they got the logs and all that of them going there. And not to mention, I bet you they have the tapes too. I think in the QAnon post, I'm going to try to find it here while you're talking, but I believe they already have the tapes of stuff being committed.
Yeah. So you guys pretty stoked for the ESETI trip, huh?
Oh, hell yeah. Can't come soon enough.
I tried to make it happen. I was going to try to come out and meet you guys, but we're kind of busy. My girl owns a coffee shop here in town, and I just can't make it this time, but you're going to see some stuff, I think.
I think so too. That's why Teresa Yernos went up there, and she said after she was up there, she was able to basically manifest them anywhere she went, carrying that energy and being able to get in that mindset. That should be interesting.
I don't know. I think you're going to have a blast, man.
Yeah, it can't come soon enough. Like I said, after Sedona, I felt so good. It was great to connect with everybody. And then, I get back here, and then it took a little while, but everything kind of fell back into their old ways, and I'm just ready for a refresh again.
Yeah.
Did you ever go out there yourself?
No, I haven't. I haven't been yet. I'm trying to talk my girl into it. It's hard.
Is she into this stuff?
It's slow disclosure, man. With her, but she's coming around, especially with this Epstein stuff. I'm showing it to her, and she's getting woke for sure.
This is what's going to do it, and QAnon even said that this was going to be the catalyst.
Yeah, but the Agenda 21 episode, it was great, man.
That's all Pete. Yeah, he did a great job researching that. There's a lot of information there.
He did a great job. Like, give him a high five for me.
Oh, we'll do. Yeah, we're gonna.
With his vegetables, like he's growing vegetables and stuff. Because I see his T-shirt, like.
All live produce. Yeah, that's one of those things where they. I think you go to a store and they had everybody's name on there, and he always has the vegetable thing, so somebody bought it for him.
I like that
cool. Shirt.
It's cool.
Yeah.
I got a little garden down here in Savannah, so I'm down with doing stuff like that. You make your own food. It's very rewarding.
Yeah, for sure. And it can be self-sufficient, right?
Yeah, definitely. So what else?
So what do you think about To the Stars? Give me a breakdown on that. Did you watch that at all?
Oh man, I kind of, I don't know, man. I don't know about The Stars. I mean, I really, really like the Lazar interview on Rogan. It was really genuine,
Yeah, Joe Rogan. Yeah. How was it? It was over 4 million views now. It's crazy stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of people say, "Oh, he's fake,"
I mean,
but I don't think so.
No. It explains a lot, Like, think about like the world, like like 100 years ago, we didn't have refrigerators, you know? And now look what we've got. We definitely back engineered some stuff.
Exactly. That's why I'm so excited for all this to come out. The free energy systems is going to transform the world completely. And a lot of people don't understand that.
Totally. They don't.
There's people going day-to-day jobs, and it's just like everybody's so unfulfilled. Think of the world we could be living in. Teleportation. Oh my God.
So
and we don't have to. The thing is, if you release that technology, it ends the argument about the whole global warming, climate change crap.
Definitely. Yeah. That's too easy, though, Dan.
Oh, I know. It's too logical.
If it's too logical and too easy, that won't fucking work. What do you think Trump's going to do with Acosta?
That's a good question because
delete him?
I think he will leave. I kind of think that he probably knew that this was going to happen ahead of time. Like, you know how he always put all these bad people in place just to like play this 5D chess thing?
Yeah.
Now his position, what was it? I had it written here.
I don't know what his position is, but he was
Labor of Secretary.
Oh yeah. But he's gonna go down. I think he's gonna get deleted. I don't know. I'm super happy this Epstein stuff is coming out though, because it just bothered me so much. Just the whole pedophilia, Pizzagate stuff. It's so disgusting, and it's real, you know. It's really going on, and it finally something happened. So I don't know.
And it's all tied in. It's undeniable. That's going to be the best part about it.
Totally. Cool. Well, I don't want to take up all your time, but it was good chatting.
Yeah, for sure. Call in again. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Most stuff.
All right. Take care, Tim.
All right. Thanks, Tim.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Awesome to hear from Tim. So crazy times we live in, folks. I think I'm going to probably close down the show if nobody else is going to call in. We were hit again while Tim was on the phone with a drop. This is crazy. It's never happened this much before. We definitely were attacked. Will I still be up on YouTube, or will I have a strike? Will this video get deleted? Again, it will be on the backup channels, DTube, BitChute, and simply go over to K2D4network.com, ladies and gentlemen. If you ever forget, just go to K2D4network.com. All the sites, links are all here. Oh man, we dropped again. We dropped again, folks. They're unbelievable today. Unbelievable. But yeah, all the links are here. I always try to repost all these videos on DTube and BitChute. Of course, we can simulcast on Twitch and Mixer. We're always on over there. So when we do go down, you can catch us over there. And of course, subscribe to us on your favorite podcasting platform, Apple Podcasts, Google Music, Spotify. It's all there, and many, many more. Appreciate it, folks. And hopefully we will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening. Visit K2D4network.com today.